ahead and get started. We were just waiting. Some people were delayed by the weather. I'm sure you all understand, but we're ready to get started, so. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our friends, family, faculty, staff, administrators, and most importantly, graduates. It's my great pleasure to welcome you this evening to the pinning ceremony for our medical laboratory class. I'm Liz Mazurek. I am the Dean of Science, Health Professions, and Nursing. Tonight's pinning ceremony marks not only the completion of a rigorous academic and clinical journey, but also the beginning of a meaningful and impactful professional path in healthcare, and possibly a sign that you can take a break, catch up on sleep, and not be studying all night anymore. So just a few housekeeping announcements. I'd like to remind everyone to silence their cell phones. And as the evening goes on, I know many of you might want to take pictures or videos of the events tonight. Please be mindful of the others around you as you do that. We do have the official college photographer here who will be taking pictures throughout the ceremony, and those pictures will be available on Mercer County Community College's social media sites. Please like and share. So, with that being said, at this point, I would like to invite up our Vice President of Academic Affairs and College Provost, Dr. Robert Schreier, to give congratulatory remarks on behalf of college administration.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mazurek, and thank you to the graduates and families and friends for giving me a moment of your time to share some remarks with you. I'm here to share some welcome and congratulatory remarks on behalf of myself, but also want to acknowledge our president, Dr. Deborah Preston, who unfortunately could not attend tonight due to a conflict, but she wants to extend her congratulations as well. So I want to start off just by acknowledging that this is how special this evening is. I think sometimes as you're preparing for this, you've been through all the hard work, all the exams and whatnot, and you're coming to a night like this with the rain and storm, and you don't have that opportunity to pause for a moment and just remind yourself how special it is. Tonight is special, and it's a night for you to celebrate your accomplishments. These graduates have worked tirelessly for multiple years now on their prerequisites, their professional phase courses, the labs, the clinicals, in and out of the hospital facilities or the lab testing facilities, tirelessly to get to this point. And that's no easy feat. It's quite a difficult feat. This is your moment. It's your moment to sit back and enjoy it. Rest on all that for a moment before you get on to the next phase and enjoy it. You did spend all those hours in the classrooms, the labs, the clinical settings, and you've ultimately demonstrated the knowledge to pass this program. And that's a big deal. This is not an easy program. As a healthcare practitioner myself, I've been through the journey of learning in the classroom and then the lab and then out in the clinical setting and then bringing that back into the lab. And then, that conversion of knowledge to application is really the part that can get really difficult, right? And when you're doing that with instruments and variables that are outside of your control, it gets that much harder, right? So you really should be patting yourself on the back for this. And with noting that, I want to extend my appreciation to our faculty, our clinical faculty, and all those, the dean, and all the support staff and team that has been gathered around you to make this happen. That team at Mercer has been here for you and will always be here for you, and we welcome you back anytime to support our future students, engaging as clinical instructors and whatnot going forward. But there's also that other support structure and that other team that's been behind you, which is right behind you today. As they were the last 2 years, they've been behind you every step of the way, supporting you, ensuring that you had the time and the energy to be able to get what you needed done. In many cases, you were probably supporting them as well, right? It's that mutual relationship. But we can't forget just how much they were there for you. And I want to thank you all for entrusting us at Mercer County Community College with the education of your loved ones and your family members here. So let's just pause for a moment, and I'm going to steal some thunder because I think this is done by somebody else here, but I always just love doing it. If we're going to get a lot of celebration and a lot of clapping for our graduates. So I'm going to ask if our graduates could stand up for a moment, turn and face the audience, and give the audience a round of applause. And thank you for your energy. All right, now we can give it back to them. Let's give a round of applause for our graduates. So to our graduates, as you're entering this profession, I want you to make sure you remember that medical laboratory professionals are at the heartbeat of patient care. You're a critical component of the healthcare team. Sometimes your work is done behind the scenes, sometimes it's done out in the open. The results of your work are absolutely essential to the diagnosis, the treatment, ultimately the healing of patients and individuals around the world. You have a major opportunity to have massive impact, and with that impact comes the opportunity for you to reflect on the role that you have, the role that you're playing. And you should really remind yourself often of the work that you're doing, the field that you chose to be in. Choosing a field like this is choosing something to help others, and that's truly, truly noble. So I want to acknowledge that. I hope you continue to acknowledge that in your day-to-day. And most importantly, congratulations on a job well done, and couldn't be happier to be here to celebrate with you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Whether you're joining us here at Kelsey Theater or watching from the live stream, tuning in from maybe a hospital laboratory, we're so grateful that you're here today. On behalf of Mercer County Community College and the Medical Laboratory Technology Program, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome as well to all of you. And I'd like to also thank Dr. Schreier and Dr. Mazurek for being here to support us in our program and our graduates. Before I continue, I'd just like to introduce myself. I'm Professor Lisa Shave, and for the past decade, I have had the privilege and honor of serving as the program director and, for a brief moment, clinical coordinator as one full-time faculty member of the Medical Laboratory Technology Program. Over the last 3 years, though, our faculty team has grown, and I'd like to acknowledge two other wonderful partners who assist me in providing a wonderful, high-quality education for our graduates. So here with me I have Professor Jesse Lafreni, who's also now a full-time faculty member. And then we also have a wide number of adjunct faculty who are part-timers working out in the clinical field, who spend their extra free time to come and teach our students. And so we have many of them, but here tonight, I just want to also acknowledge Professor Danielle Campoli. I also like to recognize individuals who are working in the background endlessly to help me run this program. And so we do have a lot of support staff, including Cara DeBonis, who's the Senior Executive Assistant of the division, and Radhika Jesma, who's the Senior Program Specialist of the division, as well as Steve Waniak, who is our Assistant to the Dean. Every year, I always stand up here with the privilege and an honor of, representing our program, but I really couldn't do it without these people behind the scenes. Also, another important group I want to take a moment to thank, who may not be here today but might be listening virtually, is going to be our clinical partners. The education of medical laboratory students is a very, very rigorous undertaking, and while we provide the didactic and the student laboratory experience, we would not be able to allow our students to transition into the workplace without having the partners out in the real life setting. And so some of you who may not have hosted our students this year, but may still be attending, You might have supported us in the past, or you may in the future, and I just want to say thank you for serving as a mentor. I'm sure many of you graduates can think of somebody that truly impacted your clinical experience and also pushed you to the finish line here today. And so their investment in our students has a profound impact on them, so I would be remiss if I did not take the time to acknowledge our clinical partners as well. And lastly, similar to Dr. Schreier, I would also like to thank all of you, family, friends, partners. Thank you for your patience to support these students through late nights or long study sessions, early mornings, schedule shifts. Many of them had to drive really far to come here to our campus, some as far as an hour and a half, extending as far as South Jersey to North Jersey. And so I know that's a lot on you all as well. Now, what I'd like to talk a little bit more about is the medical laboratory professional field. So many people in this audience may still be wondering exactly what a medical laboratory professional does, and that's understandable. You might have caught glimpses of your graduate here talking about it, but when you think of healthcare, oftentimes you picture physicians or nurses or frontline individuals who are helping take care of the patient. Very few people think immediately of the background of the laboratory. Yet laboratory is involved in nearly every aspect of healthcare. We like to consider ourselves the backbone of healthcare. And it is often said that approximately 70% of all medical decisions rely on the laboratory results that we produce. When a patient arrives in the emergency department with chest pain, the laboratory helps determine whether they're having a heart attack. When a physician suspects leukemia, the laboratory examines that blood smear to determine if they do in fact have cancerous cells. When a patient requires a blood transfusion, laboratory professionals ensure that the blood is going to be compatible and provide life-saving results. And when there's a global health crisis, as we witnessed 6 years ago, laboratory professionals become essential members of the healthcare, running and guiding all the laboratory testing that's involved in the response. But make no mistake, while we do hide in the background, the laboratory really is the foundation upon which healthcare depends. And so while we like to consider ourselves the unsung heroes of healthcare, personally, I've never really agreed with that, because we should not remain in our silo and be unsung. We should, have public recognition, be proud of who we are and what we do. So medical laboratory professionals is a very rewarding and impactful career for patients in our community. And tonight, these graduates are joining a profession that is truly defined by science, compassion, critical thinking, and really an unwavering commitment to patients out in the real world. So, graduates, the journey, as we discussed, was not easy. I've been through it myself in my day. You've completed difficult coursework, both in the pre-professional phase of our program, but I know the last year was most likely a true challenge as you learned urinalysis, hematology, clinical chemistry, microbiology, and all the wide array of disciplines that really make up the laboratory medicine field. You guys balanced exams, clinical rotations, work schedules, family responsibilities, financial responsibilities, and I don't want that to go unrecognized. Some of you may have presented with challenges, but you stood by each other and you built a community so that you could encourage one another to get here to the finish line. And tonight isn't just about earning a degree, it's really about perseverance and about doing all those little things that made you get here today. There's a saying that I really enjoy. It's the best time to start something was yesterday, and the second best time is today. And I think that this is especially fitting because so much of what you brought to this moment started long before today, right? You are now sitting here, though, in another very, very special moment, because while you have proven that you can do the hard things and that you have overcome the long trek of developing a firm understanding of the theoretical concepts and the technical skills that are required of this profession, I also want you to remember that as you move forward, whether that means beginning your first job or preparing for certification exams, you do continue to grow and you take the next step in your career. So that is my encouraging statement for you. Remember, if you didn't start yesterday, you wouldn't be here today. And I want you to think now, where is the next place you would like to go? So as you move forward in your careers, please stay connected with me, but there's a couple of things I just wanted to remind you, which is that first, I encourage you to never stop learning. You know, healthcare and the laboratory community is ever evolving. I ask you to please remain curious, ask questions, seek certifications to demonstrate your competence. Attend conferences, network. You'll find that while we are a small population of the workforce, a lot of us do have a lot to share, and through networking, you'd be amazed to see how easy it will be for you to obtain that next job or seek out that next program that you'd like to pursue. Secondly, I know there's a lot of negativity out in the real life, so I ask you to try to prevent that negativity from becoming an obstacle for you. Remember that you will encounter challenges, you will make mistakes, and that it's happened to all of us. But if you remember this moment and the fact that you overcame all that you did in the last year, you can overcome those future moments as well that may pose a challenge for you. So while it might not be a pleasant experience, remember that growth is never comfortable. Progress is always more important than perfection. And so just don't give up. As someone who continues to work in the lab myself, per diem, and after entering, I can't believe I'm going to say it, 15 years ago, I am still studying, to earn my doctorate in clinical lab science. So I know firsthand the challenges and the rewards that come with this profession. I also know how much more there is for you to learn and how many more opportunities and doors that can be opened if you seek them out. And so I do encourage you to do that. But overall, I'm just so proud of all of you, and I'm so excited to welcome you into my profession. So please reflect on how far you've come, because this isn't the end of your journey. In fact, I have to add this in. Many of you have already registered to sit for the ASCP certification. For those of you that are nervous, I encourage you to take the leap after tonight. Sign up, do it, get those credentials. I know that it's a little bit more past this point in time that's going to require you to study, but you're on the, those credentials are on the horizon. You can do it. If you extend just a little bit longer, you'll earn those those letters after your name. And they're not just letters. Truly, they are a reflection of all the hard work that you've put into this, into this field, into gaining the knowledge. And I do really think that they represent, knowledge and dedication. Reach out to me if you need help with that. So let's see where I want to go. Yeah. Okay, so tonight I'm done talking, because I think now it's time to bring up our graduates and celebrate all of you. So at this point in time, I'm actually going to invite a couple of my partners here up as we present our candidates, and we present the graduating class of 2026. So I'd like to invite Dr. Schreier, Dr. Mazurek, as well as both my faculty to assist me in presenting our graduates. Graduates, you can all stand up. Thank you. Okay. So at this time, I'd like to begin the presentation of our candidates for the Medical Laboratory Technology class of 2026. As I call your name, feel free to make your way to the stage to receive your pin and your congratulatory certificates. Nazifa Arzu. Daniel Crooks. Emily Everman. Aaron Harris. Jacqueline Herarte. Naria Paredes Chacon. Agnesa Kusari.
Sorry, we're just having a moment of technical difficulty.
Randall Masco. Paige Mastrandria. Jinal Patel. Sheena Bin Ravel. Michaela Rebellion. Kaylee Sandman. Tanya Tito. Ami Wu. Simra Zia. Okay, let's give a round of applause for our graduates. Thank you, everyone, for your assistance up here on the stage. At this time, it's my pleasure to invite to acknowledge our two valedictorians, Daniel Crooks and Randall Masco, who will share a few words with their classmates. I'm going to invite Randall first to the stage. I just don't know which one's yours. Okay.
Well, everyone, we made it. Through 10 months of accelerated classes and 4 months of intense clinicals, we finally get to see all of our hard work pay off. I am so proud of all of us for achieving this goal, and I know that each and every one of us will soon be making valuable contributions to the field in whatever path we choose next. We know, after this, that we are up to the challenge. I am so incredibly grateful to have this opportunity to address you all as the co-valedictorian of this year's Medical Laboratory Technology cohort. We are a class made up of such unique backgrounds. For some of us, this is a second or third career, while for others, this is the first step towards adulthood. Some of us are parents, while for others, this is a goal that they've been chasing for years. Some of us have known New Jersey as their only home, while others have crossed states, countries, continents, and found their way here. In these ways, we could not be more different, and yet we all share at least one thing in common: our passion for bettering ourselves and for bettering the lives of those around us. I am not one of those lucky people that knew from the moment they left high school what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I knew I loved science, and I knew I loved helping people, but I didn't know how to find the middle ground between the two. After graduating with a degree in biology, I worked in industry and loved being on the bench, but struggled to feel like my work was benefiting anyone meaningfully. I worked in retail and merchandising and loved getting to help people every day, but missed the problem solving and critical thinking involved in lab work. It took many years of personal trials, dead-end jobs, and soul searching for me, but eventually, while browsing job postings, I came across medical laboratory science. Before that, I honestly knew next to nothing about the field, but after doing some research, it seemed that I finally found that bridge I was looking for, a career that values science and patient care equally. Once that clicked, I applied for the program here at Mercer, and the rest is history. All of this journeying, this trial and error that is finding a passion, starting a new career from scratch, would not have been possible without the support that I and all of us were privileged to have during this process. I want to take this time to again acknowledge the families and friends surrounding each and every one of us, those that loved and cared enough about us to keep us afloat, and the work you all did behind the scenes to ensure we made it here. It wouldn't have been possible without you. I want to thank Professor Shave, Professor Lafreni, Professor Damas, Professor Campoli, and Professor Wu for the long hours and hard work you all put into the program. For that, we are also grateful, whether it be late night or early morning messages or accommodating our many different work schedules. You always made sure to be supportive in any way you could. And I want to thank every technologist that took the time out of their work days to teach us on our clinical rotations. It is not easy juggling daily work with managing someone's education, and yet you all made it happen. In my case, I have the many techs at RWJ Hamilton, including Becky Grant, who's here today, and I love her so much. The technologists at Jersey Shore University Medical Center and at Ocean University Medical Center to thank. Because of them, I feel truly prepared to enter the field confidently. I need to take the time to thank my parents. Mom, Dad, thank you for loving every version of me. Thank you for never giving up on me, even when I gave you every reason to. Thank you for your endless support, your advice, and your love. This is much your accomplishment as it is mine. That's right, Sophia. And it feels like I finally have the confidence you've both had in me all along. I also want to thank my sister, my brother-in-law, and my absolute joy in life, my niece, Sophia, as well as my friends, Ava and Allison. You have all been there for me through the stress, the hard work, and the much-needed time away from that work. I love you all. I want to end by saying we are all about to start working in a vital yet often overlooked part of healthcare. We may not always see the people whose lives our work touches. We may never meet many of the patients whose results pass through our hands. But behind every specimen is a person, and behind every result is a decision that may change that person's life. We chose this field because we believe that science can help people, and now we have the knowledge and the skills to make that belief part of our everyday work. Congratulations, everyone. We all deserve this success, and we're all about to have so much more of it.
Yes. Congratulations. Thank you, Randy. That was wonderful. Thank you, Randy. And Daniel, would you like to come up and provide some words to your classmates in the audience?
Hello, everyone. It is an honor to be able to stand up here today as co-valedictorian as we celebrate the culmination of all our hard work. Our journey began on May 19th, 2025. I walked into that first Introduction to Medical Laboratory Technologies class with a stomach full of butterflies and fingernails nervously chewed down to the bone during the long-hour car ride in. In the classroom, I was met by a group of strangers, all of them different ages, genders, ethnicities, and backgrounds, but all with a similar goal: growth. As we prepared to start our first class, nervous thoughts in my head were briefly interrupted by awkward hellos and "it's nice to meet yous." But as time passed and the classroom sessions added up, I got to know more and more about my classmates. By the end, I may not have known all of you extremely well, but what I can say is that I wouldn't trade this graduating class of 2026 for any group of people in the world. It was a privilege to learn alongside every single one of you, and the way this class showed up for each other and no one would ever have to ask for help twice makes me confident in the future of the MLT profession. My path to the MLT profession, just like many people here today, was not a straight line. It was a curvy and broken highway with countless detours and even more roadblocks. If I could convey any message with my speech today, I would want that message to be to never give up and never stop fighting for yourself. My story for most of my 20s and my early 30s is a story of failure and regret, a story of missed opportunities and self-loathing. I couldn't stand the man I would see every time I looked in the mirror. My family and friends, however, never gave up on me, even when I gave up on myself. My career in healthcare actually began a month or so after I left my 5th or 6th 30-day drug rehab program. Someone I know barely showed me kindness and offered to help me get a job as a lab assistant. I always loved the sciences, and I previously earned an associate's degree in biology, so I gave it a try, and the wildest thing happened. I flourished. I was really good at it. So good I was awarded Employee of the Year at one point. Me, the degenerate, the outcast, the liar, the hopeless, helping people. I found it, the ever elusive hope hidden inside an LIS system and a vacutainer tube. Don't get me wrong, there was a lot more work to make me better than just finding a job I was good at, but it did show me that maybe I was worth fighting for. As the years passed, my coworkers pushed me harder and harder to go back to school. And eventually I decided it was time to reach out to Professor Shave, and the rest is what led us to here today. Professors, we owe you a sincere thank you from all of us. All of you were always there for us, and that couldn't have been easy to do. You taught us firsthand that this isn't just a job, but people's lives we are affecting on a daily basis. The passion each of you show for the career is uplifting and inspiring. Once I gain enough experience, I would be happy to come back and help you teach for the discounted price of $2,000 an hour. And just so you know, that's a great deal. I also owe a huge thank you to Amanda Collins. Amanda is my direct supervisor at my job and has supported me before and throughout this program. She goes above and beyond to make sure I succeed, and I want her to know that I see and appreciate all of it. I also owe a huge thank you to Claire and everyone at Ocean University Medical Center, as they helped me learn and grow so much throughout the years, and I would not be the tech I'm about to be without them. Now, I would like to thank those close to my heart. Mom, I put you through hell on earth, and I owe you everything I have to not giving up on me. It's been a wild ride, but here I am, sober, telling you that I love you in front of a bunch of people you don't know. I know you couldn't make it today, but I promise I'll come take you out to dinner somewhere nice, and I'll tell you I love you again in person, because you deserve it. To my brothers, Jack, Mike, Kyle, we all may not have gotten along the greatest over the years, and even now, not all of our relationships are the best, but I want you to know that I love you and I'm here for you all. My father passed away a few years ago. He was very sick, but he would be so proud of me right now. Whenever he was really proud of me, he would give me one of those hugs that was just way too tight, and it was really, really hard to breathe. But regardless, I wish I could have one of those right now. I love you, Dad. Finally, I would like to thank my love, Caitlin Bedeca. You were my rock throughout this entire experience. When I first met Caitlin, I had no car, no license, no plans to go back to school. And within a month of dating, I had a car, my license back, and started looking to what school to attend. To me, true love is growing together, and Caitlin, I can't wait to grow together for the years to come. No matter how many times I look at you, I'll never grow tired of telling you how beautiful you are to me. To wrap things up, I just want to congratulate everyone who is here today. We should all be immensely proud of ourselves. This was not easy, and yet here we all are. To every parent, spouse, and kid in this room who worked an extra shift or ate dinner alone so someone up here could study, this degree is partly yours. This may be the end of this chapter, but the beginning of a brand new adventure. And like all adventures just starting out, there will be stomach butterflies, rooms full of strangers, hardships, and roadblocks. But just keep fighting and never give up. My name is Daniel J. Crooks. I am a failure, a college dropout, an addict, a disappointment, an employee of the year, a mentor, a loving boyfriend, a good son, a good brother, and your co-valedictorian. Thank you and congratulations.
Daniel and Randy, congratulations on your distinction. For those that don't know, they achieved this accomplishment by earning a 4.0 in the MLT professional phase of our program, which is not easy to do. Now, one of my favorite parts of this evening as well is recognizing students who have demonstrated exceptional achievement, resilience, leadership, and compassion. And tonight we have the privilege of recognizing several students who've stood out to their classmates and faculty. So first off, we have the Excellence in Medical Laboratory Technology. It's an award that was voted on by both students and faculty, and it recognizes a student who truly exemplifies excellence within our profession. Excuse me. And this individual, who I will name after, has been one of the faces of our MLT club, has put tremendous time and effort into making sure our program and our club events, acting as our club president. She was always willing to show up, take the lead, and somehow arrive with an endless supply of donated items from as far as Cape Regional Medical Center. What many people don't know is that she, just like a few others in this graduating class, started working in the laboratory, but she wasn't satisfied with simply knowing how to do the job. She wanted to deepen her understanding of the theory behind what she was doing and earn her national certification and continue advancing professionally. And so we're here to honor that initiative, that dedication, and say thank you to Kaylee Sandin. Our next recognition is what we call the Perseverance Award, and this is also selected primarily by students and then some faculty, and this award recognizes students who've demonstrated extraordinary determination, resilience, and the willingness to keep moving forward. So I should just invite you all up to the stage because I know each of you have done that. But this year we're proud to actually recognize two recipients. The first individual I will mention has demonstrated remarkable perseverance. Her classmates actually recognized that she had been caring for her daughter amongst our time-consuming program, and regardless of the challenges that were placed in front of her, she continued to show up. She went on to win the ASCLS New Jersey Scholarship as well, and so we're here to acknowledge Tanya Tito's journey of perseverance. And the other Perseverance Award is going to a student who provided an incredible example of what perseverance really means. They had setbacks along the way, but she made the decision that it was not going to define the outcome of her story. She returned with tremendous focus, determination, and confidence. And we're especially proud to acknowledge that she has now completed in her clinical training. She's sitting here today, and she's accepted a position, hopefully I'm able to say this, with Atlantic Health Medical Center. So Naria Paredes Chacon, we're very, very delighted to provide you with this award. And then our last award is called the MLT Peer Supporter Award. We had 3 sections of each of our classes, and so the students and the graduates here went through as a cohort. Most of them did get to mingle with some others across section, but what we have here are 3 individuals who were recognized by their peers as helping them, helping each other hold it together. The first student demonstrated dedication, determination, and strength, and she didn't just focus only on her own success. She collaborated with her classmates, also across section. And so from our section 010, which was our in-person model, we're here to award a MLT Peer Supporter certificate to Simra Zia. For the hybrid Wednesday class, which was our section 025, this individual, his classmates described him as someone who consistently checked in with everyone throughout the program and supported them well beyond academics. One classmate even summed up this student's impact best by saying, "I wouldn't have gotten to the finish line without him." I don't think there's a better description of this, of what this award is for this individual, who's Daniel Crooks. And then last, but certainly not least, if I can find it, perfect, is going to be our Saturday hybrid section. This individual's classmates described her as someone who was always willing to help and consistently encouraged those around her. One classmate shared that while studying together, she continuously helped keep her motivated. And in this challenging program, that's the kind of classmate that can make an enormous difference. So Agnesa Kusari, congratulations. And finally, we have slightly different recognitions.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jessie. As Lisa stated before, I am full-time faculty and clinical coordinator for the MLT program. And amongst all of the horrible, challenging things these wonderful people have had to endure for the past year, we decided to take a break from it during our lab week. So lab week is something that one of our accrediting bodies puts on every year to honor and celebrate us as laboratory technology professionals. And we started a new tradition this year of doing a lab Olympics. And our students took the time to have fun with all of the lab skills that they learned this year. So this year, I am happy to announce that the student that was able to do the best blood smear on the first attempt was Daniel Crooks. The next student that is a lab Olympian performed the skill of holding the meniscus at the line for the longest amount of time using a bulb plunger, which for many of you in the back are thinking, I have no idea what that means or what that is. But for everybody in the front, it's torturous. So congratulations, Randall Masco. I'm sure his hand was very tired. He held that thing for over 5 minutes. And our final lab Olympian this year, with the fastest antibody ID, which again, highly difficult, Kaylee Salmon.
So before we conclude this evening, I'd like to invite all of our graduates and every laboratory professional present here today, whether you're in person or joining virtually, if you're comfortable in doing so, we will be reciting the Medical Laboratory Science Pledge to the Profession, which is located in the program handbook. The pledge represents the values that define our profession: integrity, excellence, respect, patient-centered care, and commitment to lifelong learning. So hopefully you can all find your program pamphlet. If you could please stand. Graduates, we are going to recite this together. And as mentioned previously, you'll follow line by line after me. So, as a medical laboratory professional, I pledge to uphold my duty to patients, the profession, and society by placing the patient's welfare above my own needs and desires. Ensuring that each patient receives care that is safe, effective, efficient, timely, equitable, and patient-centered. Maintaining the dignity and respect for my profession. Promoting the advancement of my profession. Ensuring collegial relationships within the clinical laboratory and with other patient care providers. Improving access to laboratory services. Promoting equitable distribution of healthcare resources. And complying with the laws and regulations and protecting patients from others' incompetent or illegal practice. Thank you. You may be seated. So before we conclude, graduates, be proud of what you've accomplished. Carry yourselves with integrity. Advocate for your profession. Continue learning. Sign up for your certification exam. Support one another. And never underestimate the impact that you can have on the life of a patient or lives of patients. I'd like to ask everyone to join me in a round of applause congratulating the Medical Laboratory Technology Class of 2026. Welcome to the profession and welcome to the laboratory family. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening, whether you're here in person or virtually, and I hope everyone does have a wonderful evening and gets home safe. As a reminder, graduates, please be sure to come up on the stage for a group photo. As you do exit, we do have some refreshments out in the foyer. Please be sure to pick up a cookie and some water to take with you wherever your next place of journey takes you. And so at this point, we'd love to invite you all up for a photo.